Hi, ask me any question on self-esteem. Ask me any question on self-esteem. I want to answer those questions. Ask me any question on self-esteem. And maybe if I may ask, as you continue to watch Karibuni Sana, if I may ask, did you know that self-esteem is like a birthright? Did you know that self-esteem is like a birthright? This is something that you're born with. It is your right. As a person, you should not have low self-esteem. You should have like high self-esteem. Your self-esteem is your birthright. So anything that is going to deprive you of your birthright is something that is not worth your time, something that is not worth your energy, something that is not worth it. So the question is, how is your self-esteem? So I would define self-esteem using Nathaniel Branden's definition of self-esteem, that self-esteem is your ability to be proportionate, or rather to be equally able to live your life and be able to face the requirements. Again, as Nathaniel Branden explains self-esteem, is that we should be able, or rather we should be proportionate. We should be able to be, our ability of facing the issues of life should be appropriate. Zilingane. Our ability to face issues of life should be very appropriate and should be proportionate to the requirements of life. So what are the requirements of life? Requirements of life is resilience. Requirements of life is you as a person. What do you understand about you? Requirements of life is you protecting you. Requirements of life is the normal daily occurrences of life. So your self-esteem should be appropriate, or rather it should offer you the proportionate measure that you're able to face the normal daily occurrences of life. So that is the Nathaniel Branden's definition of self-esteem. So why am I really preaching self-esteem? Why am I really preaching that people should have self-esteem? Self-esteem is very important to you as a person, and as much as it is your birthright, but some people do not have this birthright. Why? Because when we look at Jean Piaget's way of defining personal growth, then Jean Piaget says that self-esteem starts developing at age 3. There's a process that happens between age 1 to age 3, and that is where self-esteem is developed. It means as parents, we should really be careful of the things we tell our children unconsciously that makes them feel inadequate, that makes them lose that self-efficacy, that makes them, look for tranquilizers, things that numb the pain that we tell them. Again, as parents, we could also be coming from a background of we were not really, appreciated. Accolades were not sent our way when we really needed them. But when these accolades were not sent our way when we really needed them, then somehow it threw us into a cocoon of feeling inadequate. This is something funny that I tend to find with most of us grown-ups, me included. I'm not a supernatural person. Most of us, our self-esteem were deemed low at that particular age of 3 years. So when our self-esteem was deemed, then we were not able to, identify the problem then we grew up. So in the middle of growing up, we started realizing, oh, we should be loving ourselves. Oh, okay, we should be treating ourselves this way. Oh, okay, this is how we should be. And then now you start building this particular thing, pole pole. So the more you building these self-esteem pole pole, remember, you're struggling to come up with yourself. You're struggling to understand yourself. Let me first give you a quick definition of self-esteem before I continue, so that we understand where these other aspects I will be coming from. So as you grow up, you'll be continuing to, develop the self-trust, trusting your own self, trusting your own intuition, trusting your own autonomy. Do you have the autonomy as a person? Autonomy is the ability to make your own decisions, choose your own stuffs, without requesting for any other person's approval. So yes, so as you okay, thank you. So as you develop these things as a person, as you try and bring these things together as an old person, remember, you're an adult here now, you're grumbling to bring everything into space. And then you realize that you have a child here that is also, growing up so fast. So you as a person here, you're trying to fill the void that was there before. And now there's a child here that also needs that void to be filled there and then, before they grow up into people, or rather into a bigger person, or rather into an adult, or into the teenage group, without the self-efficacy. And that's why I say self-esteem is very, very important. So our upcoming class of self-esteem, why do I say it is not only for those that lack self-esteem, it is also for parents, for the sake of their children, for parents, for the sake of the teenagers, for parents who are yet to be parents, and for those parents that, are parenting other children. We develop this self-esteem into our children from the word go. Fathers, mothers, aunts, nieces, we develop these things in them from the word go. As I was saying earlier, that you as a person, while you're trying to grapple with your own self, to develop your self-esteem, there's always this feeling of void from within. You're just feeling empty. You can't really put your hands on what is going on in your life, because if it's self-care, you're telling yourself, oh, I take care of myself. If it's self-love, you're saying, oh, I groom myself. I'm always on top of everything that I do. But the question is, what is this particular thing that is missing? You really feel it's missing, but you really can't put your hands on it. So when you can't put your hands on it, this is how you find yourself responding. You become defensive. When something is said, it bruises you from within. So subconsciously, the brain remembers that there's something that is missing. So it automatically becomes defensive. So you become defensive in most situations. Somebody's asking, hey, how are you? And why was this done this way? And then you're quickly ready to defend why you did it that way, instead of listening to other person's trajectory, or listening to the other person's point of view, and then coming up with an amicable way of solving a particular situation. So lack of self-esteem from childhood would appear like being defensive in the adulthood. It would also appear like, guilt. You do something and you're just always guilty. You did the right thing, but you seek other people's opinion. Why do you think it's okay? I did this way. Do you think I did something right? Yes, in as much as seeking other people's opinion is also very important, but to what extent do you seek other people's opinion? How do you let other people's opinion change your opinion? Taking us back to the definition of self esteem, of self autonomy. Are you able to make a decision and stand by your decision? Are you able to make a thought come to fruition and stand by it without feeling wavering about the decision that you make? And then again, it would also appear like feeling unworthy. You are employed at a company A, you've been promoted, but you don't feel like you belong to that kind of seat of promotion. You feel like, no, either it's coming too early, or somebody else should have been chosen for that particular position. The feeling of unworthiness. These are feelings that come when your self-esteem was bruised at a young age. So as an adult, you're trying to fill the void, which is very okay. But remember, as you're trying to fill the void, children are on the way. Those for those that are parents. Children are here. They really also need you to understand their aspect of development of self-esteem that starts from the age of 3. And then again, this feeling, or rather this void of lack of self-esteem from a childhood will also be coming out of as a sense of not feeling like I'm enough. You always want someone to make you feel whole. You can't walk alone because you're not comfortable in your own skin. You can't do things alone. Again, it takes us back to the definition of self-esteem, which part says the trust. So self-trust. How much do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself enough that you feel you are complete as a person? Do you understand yourself? There's the aspect of self-awareness, and then there's the aspect of spiritual self, and then there's the aspect of physical self. So do you trust yourself enough to feel that the way you look, the way you are, is enough for you as a person? Self-trust, as a part of our self-esteem definition. And then again, there's self-resilience. What do you know about yourself? How can you endure the life happenings? Because as always, the moment we are still alive, there will be life happenings. What is your resilience? How soon can you get back from a situation that was meant to put you down? How soon can you get back? So I'll give you quick nuggets on what self-esteem does when you get down. So high self-esteem will help you in coping with difficulties and diversities. When you have a lot of when you're going through difficulties and diverse issues, you're able to get back on your feet soon enough if you have high self-esteem. In the definition of self-esteem, there's the aspect of self-resilience. How soon can you bounce back? Are you the kind that, when a life happening happens, you get down, you stay there, you mumble there, you grumble there, you complain there, you make noise there, and then be victimized there, you feel like a victim there, and you stay there? Or are you the kind that when it happens, first of all, accept that it happens, accept that the pain, put a name to the pain that you're going through at that particular moment. If you're hurt, call it hurt. Do not embrace it. Do not sugarcoat the hurt. Like saying, yes, I'm hurt, but no, I'm hurt. It's bad. Bingo. So once your system understands that it's bad, then your self-resilience of a part of self-esteem comes into play. You automatically find yourself jumping back to position. So why would you ask, Dorothy, do I really need to have self-esteem as a parent? Do I need to understand about self-esteem as a parent? Or do my children need self-esteem? And how can I realize that in the past I've missed something concerning the self-esteem? Then I'll tell you yes. One, as parents, we sometimes, as I said in the beginning, that sometimes as parents we subconsciously make our children feel not enough. So how do we make our children not feel enough as parents? Remember, it is subconsciously or unconsciously. These are things that you do without knowing. They just happen. These are things that you do without knowing. So how do I, as a parent, would make my child feel, enough or not enough, or me messing messing their self-esteem in the process of growth? This is how. So, and let's take a typical normal family of a father, a mother, and maybe a child or two. So in this family, let's say there was an altercation between the mother and the father. So during the altercation, the mother gets mad. So she's emotionally boiling from within. And then the child realizes, remember, these children of 21st century is not us of the other century. The children of today, the children of 2000, is not the children of 1990s, and not the children of 1970s or 1980s. So the children of 2000 would ask, or the children of this age would ask, Mom, why are you sad? So as a mother, because you are protecting the child, you're saying, I'm not mad. Or the father will say, stop disturbing mom. I want us to keep in mind some aspects in this particular conversation. So the child has cognitive skills. Cognitive skills are the things the child can see, the things the child can learn, the realities that the child sees. So the child sees and feels that the mother is sad. Then the mother tells him, no, Papa, I'm not sad, I'm happy. One, we are making the child to question their cognitive abilities. You get that? When a child spots a reality, whichever age the child is, but when they spot a reality and then they speak the reality, and then after speaking the reality, we tell the child that no, the reality you've seen is not a reality. The child has seen, Mommy, you're sad. Then the mother, in the name of protecting the child, says, Papa, I'm not sad. I'm okay. Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much. The mother will say, hi, Papa. I'm not sad. I'm okay. So when the child starts questioning, why is the mother saying she is not sad, yet the child has spotted the sadness, then we are making this child question their cognitive abilities. Remember, they're growing up. They have cognitive abilities. So when we are telling the child that the mother is not sad and the mother is very sad, then we are making this child, once they start questioning their cognitive ability, then boom, we've started making the child question their self-trust. Remember, we said earlier in the definition of self-esteem is self-trust, self-autonomy, and self-resilience. So the child is not able to have their own self-trust, which is an aspect of self-esteem. We get that? So when you as a mother, while you're thinking you're protecting the child, you're hurting this child's self-esteem as they grow. So because the child will be grappling to understand, is my cognitive issue has issues, or is it me that did not treat mommy's pain well, or what did I not do wrong? So you'll find the child stepping out to look for somewhere to go cool the head. So in the process of going to cool the head, the children will look for somewhere to go and play. If it's the playing age, they'll go outside and start playing with the rest. And if it's the age of that has a phone or something, you'll find their attention will be driven towards either the TV or the phone. So when we start making people question their cognitive abilities, that is when we start destroying their self-esteem. So as a parent, when a child approaches you and sincerely speaking, you are not in a good state emotionally, and the child asks, "Mommy, are you okay? Why are you sad?" Acknowledge that. "Yes, Papa. Yes, Mommy. Yes, I'm sad." You might not be able to give them the details of your being sad, but you'll be able to give them the details of what it feels to be sad. "Yes, Papa, I'm very sad now because I'm not feeling so well. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I just need some time, a little bit, and then I'll be okay." Or you could even go further by asking them a question. "What would you do if you're sad, so that I do the same, so that I can be okay?" Remember, we have CBC classes, and then the child will give you an idea of what to do and to be fit to start feeling better. So why am I insisting on self-esteem? Self-esteem is important. I said earlier, it is our birthright. It is your birthright to have your self-esteem at the top and not below. Anything below that, or anything that is going to mess up your self-esteem, it is something that is life-threatening. Get it out of your way as soon as possible. Remember, with high self-esteem, the definition says there's a part of resilience. You're able to get down and bounce back. Your self-esteem is okay. When you're able to, make decisions by yourself and stick to your decisions, then that is self-autonomy. Your self-esteem is in check. So our upcoming masterclass on self-esteem is where everyone wants to be. Our upcoming masterclass of self-esteem is where every parent needs to be. And just apart from building our own self-esteem, we will also be having some meal plans that will also be able to help us generate the feel-good hormones in the brain. And these are the hormones that are responsible for us always smiling. The hormones that are always responsible for us always feeling happy. There will also be a 20-minute daily workout plan for all of us. So kindly register for the self-esteem class and let us learn together. Karibuni sana, karibuni sana. Any question? Any question that you would want to know about self-esteem? Thank you, Mama Konyango. Thank you, Ruth. Asanteni sana. Self-esteem is very, 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 very important for all of us, for mothers, for employers. Self-esteem is very, very important. Who wants to learn something about self-esteem, and especially now we have our children at home in the holidays? Self-esteem is very, very important. So thank you so much, and
chupa za dawa kwani ulitoboa tu
again, so that we are able to learn more and more concerning self-esteem.
kwani ukuja nazo ndio nikumbuke.